Black grandmothers knew something scientists are only now discovering. The home cures they used for generations were dismissed as old fashioned superstition, but modern research has proven many of these remedies actually work. Here are 25 banned home cures Black grandmas use that scientists now call genius. Rubbing Vicks Vapor Rub on the chest and feet for congestion was a ritual every Black child in the 60s, 70s, and 80s knew intimately. When cold struck, grandmothers would massage the salve onto chests, throats, and the soles of feet before covering them with socks. The menthol, camphor, and eucalyptus created a cooling sensation that opened airways and made breathing easier through the night. Kids would fall asleep with that unmistakable medicinal smell filling their bedrooms, a scent that still triggers memories of being cared for during childhood illness. For Black families who could not always afford doctor visits, Vicks was the first line of defense that actually worked. Scientists have since confirmed that menthol provides temporary relief from nasal congestion by stimulating cold receptors in the nose. The practice of applying it to feet was thought to be folk wisdom, but research suggests reflexology pathways may explain why children slept better. Castor oil was the cure-all remedy that Black grandmothers kept in every medicine cabinet, and children learned to dread its thick, unpleasant taste. This pale yellow oil was given for constipation, stomach troubles, and anything else grandma could not quite diagnose. Kids would beg for anything but castor oil, but grandmothers insisted it would clean out whatever was making them sick. The process was simple but memorable, with children pinching their noses and swallowing as fast as possible, while adults promised it would all be worth it. What grandmothers knew from experience, science has now confirmed. The FDA has approved castor oil as a safe and effective laxative, and studies show its active ingredient, ricinoleic acid, stimulates the intestines and promotes bowel movements. Beyond digestive health, castor oil has been found to have antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties. For Black families stretching tight budgets, this inexpensive remedy treated multiple ailments without expensive prescriptions. Mixing honey and lemon for sore throats and coughs was one of the first remedies Black children learned about when they got sick. Grandmothers would heat water, squeeze fresh lemon juice, and stir in generous spoonfuls of honey until it dissolved into a golden elixir that soothed scratchy throats almost immediately. The warm liquid coated the throat, while the honey's thickness provided a protective layer against irritation. Children actually looked forward to this remedy because it tasted good. Unlike most medicines of that era, modern science has vindicated this generations-old practice with impressive findings. Research shows honey has genuine antibacterial properties and can suppress coughs as effectively as some over-the-counter medications. Studies found that honey outperformed placebos and was comparable to dextromethorphan in reducing cough frequency. The vitamin C in lemons supports immune function. What grandmothers knew instinctively about healing has become scientifically proven medicine. Steeping ginger root into tea for upset stomachs was a remedy Black grandmothers trusted completely when children complained of nausea or digestive troubles. Fresh ginger was sliced thin or grated, then steeped in boiling water until the liquid turned golden and the kitchen filled with its sharp aroma. Some grandmothers added honey to make it easier for children to drink, while others insisted the stronger taste meant stronger medicine. The warmth of the tea, combined with ginger's natural properties, often seemed to settle stomachs within minutes. Science has since shown those grandmothers were right. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists recognizes ginger as a safe treatment for pregnancy-related nausea. Multiple clinical trials have demonstrated ginger's effectiveness against chemotherapy-induced nausea. The active compounds gingerols and shogals work by blocking serotonin receptors in the gut that trigger nausea. For Black families, ginger tea was affordable and genuinely effective medicine. Keeping aloe vera plants in the kitchen for burns was a practice passed down through generations of Black families who knew what to do when someone touched a hot stove or splattered grease. The thick, spiky leaves sat in pots on windowsills ready to be snapped open at a moment's notice. When burns happened, grandmothers would slice a leaf lengthwise and press the cool gel directly onto the injured skin. The immediate soothing sensation was remarkable, and children quickly learned that the strange-looking plant was their friend. Scientific research has confirmed what grandmothers always knew about aloe vera's healing properties. Meta-analyses show that aloe vera accelerates healing time for first-degree and second-degree burns compared to conventional treatments. The gel contains compounds that reduce inflammation, fight bacteria, and promote skin cell regeneration. Studies found that burns treated with aloe healed nearly 4 days faster on average. This simple houseplant provided medicine that science now recognizes as effective. Taking oatmeal baths for itchy skin and rashes was a remedy Black grandmothers used whenever children developed skin irritations, poison ivy, or unexplained itching. Plain oatmeal was ground fine or placed in a cloth bag, then swirled through warm bath water until it turned milky. Children would soak, while grandmothers explained that the oatmeal would draw out the itch and calm the skin. The relief was often immediate, and many children fell asleep peacefully after an oatmeal bath when itching had kept them awake. Scientists have validated this practice with solid research. Colloidal oatmeal is approved by the Food and Drug Administration as a skin protectant, and it is recognized for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Studies show that compounds called avenanthramides in oatmeal reduce itching by inhibiting inflammatory pathways in the skin. Clinical trials demonstrate significant improvement in eczema symptoms after regular oatmeal treatments. What grandmothers discovered through experience has become a standard dermatological recommendation. Making a baking soda paste for bee stings and bug bites was something Black grandmothers did automatically whenever children came running inside crying after encounters with insects. Baking soda mixed with just enough water to form a thick paste was applied directly to the sting or bite and left to dry. The paste would pull and tighten on the skin as it dried, and the pain and itching would fade as it worked its magic. Kids learned to trust that the white paste meant relief was coming, even if they did not understand how it worked. The science behind this remedy involves the alkaline nature of baking soda, which helps neutralize acidic insect venom and reduce inflammation at the bite site. While formal clinical trials are limited, dermatologists acknowledge that the paste can help soothe minor stings and bites. The cooling sensation as the paste dries provides comfort. For Black families, this simple kitchen ingredient provided instant first aid for the inevitable encounters children had with the outdoor world. Eating raw garlic to fight infections was a remedy Black grandmothers swore by, even though children ran from its pungent smell. When illness threatened, grandmothers would peel fresh garlic and insist that children chew and swallow the cloves. Some crushed the garlic and mixed it with honey to make it more palatable, while others believed the raw experience was necessary for the medicine to work. The burning sensation in the mouth was unpleasant, but grandmothers promised it meant the garlic was killing germs. Modern research has revealed that grandmothers were on to something significant with garlic's antimicrobial properties. Allicin, the compound released when garlic is crushed or chewed, has demonstrated antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal effects in laboratory studies. Research suggests garlic may boost immune function and reduce the duration of colds. While more clinical studies are needed, scientific evidence supports garlic's traditional use. Black grandmothers weaponized this kitchen ingredient against illness. Chicken soup, as the ultimate cold and flu medicine, was a remedy so central to Black households that getting sick almost felt worth it to receive a steaming bowl of Grandma's recipe. The soup was never from a can. Grandmothers simmered whole chickens with onions, carrots, celery, and whatever vegetables were on hand until the broth turned golden and the kitchen filled with healing aromas. Children would be propped up while Grandma brought bowl after bowl, insisting they drink every drop of broth. The warmth, the love, and the nourishment seemed to chase illness away. Scientists at the University of Nebraska Medical Center studied this folk remedy and found that chicken soup has anti-inflammatory properties that help mitigate symptoms of upper respiratory infections. The research showed that compounds in the soup inhibit the movement of neutrophils, reducing the inflammatory response that causes cold symptoms. Hydration, warmth, and nutrition all contribute to healing. Grandma's soup was medicine dressed up as love. Soaking in Epsom salt baths for sore muscles and aches was a remedy Black grandmothers recommended for everything from growing pains to overworked bodies after long days of labor. The white crystalline salt was dissolved in warm bath water until the tub was ready. Grandmothers knew that tired muscles needed time in that water to relax and recover, and they insisted on long soaks rather than quick dips. The combination of warm water and dissolved minerals seemed to pull aches right out of the body, leaving muscles loose and relaxed. The tradition of Epsom salt baths dates back centuries and continues because people experience genuine relief. The salts contain magnesium sulfate, and while scientists debate whether absorption occurs through skin, warm water itself provides documented benefits for muscle relaxation. Some studies suggest bathing in mineral-rich solutions may reduce inflammation. Whether the benefit comes from magnesium, warm water, or both, Black grandmothers knew Epsom salt baths made people feel better. Drinking apple cider vinegar for digestion problems was a remedy Black grandmothers administered, despite the face-twisting sourness children displayed with every swallow. A tablespoon diluted in water was given before meals to settle stomachs and aid digestion. Grandmothers believed the vinegar helped break down food and prevented bloating after heavy meals. The taste was harsh and children complained, but grandmothers insisted the benefits outweighed the temporary unpleasantness. Science has begun exploring what grandmothers knew from experience. Research shows apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid that may slow gastric emptying, helping people feel fuller longer. Studies suggest vinegar can affect blood sugar levels after meals that contain carbohydrates. The fermented liquid contains beneficial bacteria and prebiotics that may support gut health. While more clinical research is needed, preliminary evidence supports digestive benefits. Black grandmothers weaponized this pantry staple against stomach troubles. Brewing peppermint tea for headaches and stomach cramps was a remedy Black grandmothers reached for whenever children complained of pain. The dried leaves would steep until the water turned fragrant, and the cooling menthol aroma filled the kitchen. Grandmothers would blow on the tea to cool it before handing it to children, and they promised the mint would settle their stomachs and ease the pounding in their heads. The soothing warmth and pleasant taste made this remedy easier to accept than others. Scientific research has validated many of peppermint's traditional uses. Studies show that peppermint acts as a muscle relaxant, which explains why it helps digestive discomfort and menstrual cramps. Research indicates peppermint oil can reduce tension headaches when applied topically, and the menthol increases blood flow while providing a cooling sensation. Peppermint compounds have demonstrated anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties. Black grandmothers discovered through generations of use what science confirms today. Placing warm onion poultices on the chest for congestion and pneumonia was one of the stranger-looking remedies Black grandmothers used, but children who experienced it remember how well it worked. Onions would be chopped and sautéed until soft, then wrapped in cloth and placed warm on the chest while the patient lay bundled in blankets. The pungent smell filled the room as the warmth penetrated the skin and the vapors were inhaled. Children would cough and expel mucus as the poultice did its work, breaking up congestion that had settled deep in the lungs. Science has begun to understand why this old remedy was effective. Onions contain organosulfur compounds with antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties. Research shows these compounds can help thin mucus and relax the smooth muscles in the respiratory tract. The warmth of the poultice improves circulation to the chest area. While formal clinical trials are limited, the biochemistry supports traditional use for respiratory relief. Taking spoonfuls of cod liver oil for strong bones and immunity was a daily torture that Black children in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s remember with vivid disgust. The thick, fishy oil came on a spoon that grandmothers held firmly while children tried to escape. Some grandmothers chased it with orange juice, while others insisted swallowing quickly was the only way. The taste lingered for hours, no matter what children did to wash it away. But grandmothers insisted this awful medicine would make children strong and keep them healthy through winter. Modern research has thoroughly vindicated the cod liver oil tradition. The oil is exceptionally rich in omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin A, and vitamin D, all essential nutrients for bone development, immune function, and overall health. Studies confirm vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium for strong bones, while omega-3 fatty acids reduce inflammation. Cod liver oil was historically used to prevent rickets in children. Grandmothers knew exactly what they were doing. Applying mustard plasters to the chest for congestion was a remedy that demanded respect. The burning sensation let you know it was working. Black grandmothers would mix powdered mustard with fair flour and water to create a paste, spread it on cloth, and apply it to the chest over a protective layer. The mustard produced a warming, then burning sensation as it drew blood to the surface and loosened the congestion beneath. Children had to sit still despite the discomfort, while grandmothers timed exactly how long the plaster could stay before it became too intense. The science behind mustard plasters involves counter-irritant therapy. Mustard compounds stimulate blood flow to the skin surface, creating warmth that penetrates to the respiratory passages below. This increased circulation helps mobilize mucus and reduce chest tightness. While the practice has largely been replaced by modern medications, medical historians acknowledge mustard plasters were genuinely effective for respiratory relief. Placing raw potato slices on foreheads to draw out fever was one of those remedies that seemed like superstition until you experienced how refreshing it felt. Black grandmothers would slice raw potatoes thin and lay them across feverish foreheads, replacing them when they warmed up. The cool, moist slices provided immediate comfort to hot skin, while grandmothers promised the potato was pulling the fever out. Children would lie still with potato slices on their heads, feeling the coolness penetrate, while grandmothers monitored their progress. The scientific explanation involves simple thermodynamics and evaporative cooling. Raw potato slices contain high water content that absorbs heat from feverish skin and evaporates, providing genuine cooling relief. While potatoes cannot literally extract fever from the body, the cooling sensation reduces discomfort and may help the body regulate temperature. The psychological comfort of being cared for also aids recovery. Grandmothers provided relief that was both physical and emotional. Taking turpentine and sugar for sore throats and worms was perhaps the most controversial remedy Black grandmothers administered. one that modern medicine strongly advises against. A few drops of turpentine on a sugar cube would be given to children with persistent sore throats or suspected parasites. The turpentine burned going down, while the sugar provided brief sweetness before the medicinal taste took over. Children dreaded this remedy more than almost any other because the experience was genuinely unpleasant. Before modern pharmaceuticals, turpentine was used medicinally for its antiseptic properties. Early medical literature documented turpentine as a treatment for various ailments. However, modern toxicology has established that turpentine ingestion can be harmful, and this remedy should not be replicated today. This example shows how Black grandmothers worked with what was available and medically accepted in their era, even when those practices have since been abandoned. Drinking turmeric milk for inflammation and pain relief was a remedy Black grandmothers learned from diverse cultural traditions, and they adopted it into their healing practices. The golden milk was made by warming milk and stirring in turmeric powder until it turned a rich yellow color. Sometimes honey or black pepper was added to improve taste and absorption. Children would drink the warm, earthy liquid before bed when joints ached or their bodies felt worn down. Grandmothers promised the golden color meant healing power. Modern science has enthusiastically validated turmeric's medicinal properties. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, has demonstrated powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects in numerous studies. Research shows curcumin can reduce inflammatory markers in the blood and may help with conditions ranging from arthritis to metabolic syndrome. Clinical trials have found curcumin comparable to anti-inflammatory drugs for certain conditions. Black grandmothers embraced ancient wisdom that science now celebrates. Dabbing clove oil on teeth for toothache pain was emergency relief that Black grandmothers provided when dental care was inaccessible or unaffordable. The small brown bottle of clove oil lived in the medicine cabinet, ready for the inevitable moment when someone woke up with throbbing tooth pain. Grandmothers would soak a cotton ball with the oil and press it against the aching tooth, warning children that it would sting before it numbed. The initial burn gave way to blessed relief as the tooth went numb and the pain faded. Science has thoroughly validated the effectiveness of clove oil for dental pain. The active compound eugenol is a natural anesthetic that dentists still use today in various preparations. Studies confirm eugenol has analgesic, anti-inflammatory, and antibacterial properties. The FDA has recognized eugenol as an effective temporary treatment for toothache. Black grandmothers provided genuine pain relief with this simple remedy that remains scientifically sound. Mixing black pepper and honey for persistent coughs was a remedy Black grandmothers swore by, even though children were suspicious of the spicy combination. Honey and pepper were combined by warming the honey and stirring in ground black pepper until it formed a paste, which was swallowed slowly to coat the throat. The pepper created a tickling, warming sensation, while the honey soothed and protected irritated tissues. Grandmothers would give this mixture several times a day until stubborn coughs finally subsided. The combination seemed strange, but it worked. Science supports both ingredients for cough relief. Honey has proven cough suppressant properties that rival some over-the-counter medications in clinical studies. Black pepper contains piperine, which stimulates circulation and may help loosen mucus in the respiratory tract. Research also shows piperine can enhance the absorption of other beneficial compounds. Grandmothers created synergy with simple ingredients. Drinking chamomile tea for calming nerves and helping sleep was a nighttime ritual Black grandmothers established long before anyone understood why it worked so well. The dried flowers would steep until the water turned golden and the gentle floral aroma filled the kitchen. Grandmothers poured cups of chamomile tea for anxious children before exams, for adults who could not quiet their minds, and for anyone who needed help finding peaceful sleep. The warm cup held in both hands, the slow sipping, the gradual relaxation, all became part of the healing process. Scientific research has extensively studied chamomile's calming effects. Meta-analyses show chamomile significantly improves sleep quality, and clinical trials demonstrate effectiveness for generalized anxiety disorder. The active compound apigenin binds to receptors in the brain associated with relaxation and sleep. Studies also confirm chamomile's anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Black grandmothers prescribed peace in a teacup. Making elderberry syrup for preventing winter sickness was a tradition Black grandmothers maintained every autumn as they prepared families for cold and flu season. The dark purple berries were simmered with spices and sweetened with honey, creating a syrup that children enjoyed taking. A spoonful each morning during winter was meant to keep the family healthy when everyone around them was getting sick. Grandmothers believed the purple color meant the medicine was powerful, and children trusted that daily ritual would protect them. Black grandmothers armed their families with protection. Science has found compelling evidence for elderberry's immune benefits. Studies show elderberry extracts can inhibit influenza viruses and may reduce the duration and severity of cold and flu symptoms. Research demonstrates elderberry contains anthocyanins with antiviral properties that can block viruses from entering cells. Clinical trials suggest elderberry may help fight respiratory infections. Gargling warm salt water for sore throats was the remedy passed down through generations of Black families, taught from grandmother to mother to child in an unbroken chain of healing knowledge. The recipe was simple and sacred: warm water, a spoonful of salt, and the patience to gargle thoroughly several times a day. Children would stand at the kitchen sink while grandmothers supervised, making sure they tilted their heads back and gargled long enough for the salt water to reach the soreness. This was often the first remedy children learned to administer to themselves, a rite of passage in family medicine. Science has validated what generations knew from experience. Research shows saltwater gargles reduce inflammation, ease pain, and may help prevent upper respiratory infections. Studies demonstrate the saline solution draws fluid from swollen tissues while creating an inhospitable environment for bacteria. This simple remedy connects each generation to the ones before. The hot toddy recipe grandmothers swore by for colds was more than medicine. It was love measured in careful proportions and served in cups that had warmed countless sick family members before. Each grandmother had her own version, but the essentials remained the same: hot water or tea, honey, lemon, and sometimes a splash of whiskey for adults. The steam would rise as grandmothers carried the cup to bedsides, promising that this would break the fever and ease the coughing by morning. Children watched their mothers receive this same care and knew that someday they would make it for their own families. The hot toddy combined multiple remedies grandmothers already knew worked. The honey soothes and fights bacteria, the lemon provides vitamin C, and the heat opens airways and promotes comfort. The whiskey, when used, was believed to help with sleep. But perhaps the most healing ingredient was the love that went into making it, the tradition that connected generations through acts of care. The praying hands and healing touch that Black grandmothers offered alongside every remedy represented something science cannot fully measure, but everyone who experienced it remembers. Before administering any cure, grandmothers often prayed over the sick person, laying hands on fevered foreheads and asking for healing. Children felt safer knowing that grandmothers had called on a higher power for their recovery. The combination of physical remedy and spiritual care created comfort that went beyond the medicine itself. Modern research on the placebo effect and the mind-body connection suggests there is genuine healing power in being cared for with love and intention. Studies show that emotional support and positive expectation can influence recovery outcomes. The stress reduction that comes from feeling loved and protected allows the body to heal more effectively. Black grandmothers understood that healing required more than ingredients. It required faith, love, and the wisdom of generations. Applying mustard plasters to the chest was a remedy that Black grandmothers swore by for breaking up congestion during the 1960s. The process involved mixing dry mustard powder with flour and enough water to make a paste, then spreading it between two pieces of cloth. This poultice was placed directly on the chest, and the heat that followed was intense enough to make eyes water. Grandma watched carefully to make sure the plaster did not stay on too long, because it could blister the skin if left unattended. The burning sensation meant it was working, drawing blood to the surface and loosening whatever was stuck in the lungs. Kids squirmed and complained, but Grandma held firm, knowing this treatment had cleared congestion for generations before her. The smell of mustard filled the house, and the relief that followed made the discomfort worthwhile. After removing the plaster, Grandma would rub the reddened chest with Vicks for good measure. For Black families, the mustard plaster was serious medicine for serious chest colds. Mixing honey and lemon with hot water for sore throats was a remedy that every Black grandmother knew by heart in the 1960s. When a child woke up with a scratchy throat or complained of pain when swallowing, Grandma would head straight to the kitchen. She heated water on the stove, squeezed fresh lemon into a cup, and added a generous spoonful of honey. The warm mixture was both comforting and medicinal, coating the throat with soothing relief. Kids actually enjoyed this remedy compared to the bitter alternatives waiting in the cabinet. The honey provided natural antibacterial properties, while the lemon cut through congestion and delivered vitamin C. Some grandmothers added a pinch of cayenne pepper or a splash of apple cider vinegar to boost the healing power. This simple concoction was served multiple times a day until the sore throat disappeared. For Black families, this was medicine that tasted like care and love stirred into a cup. The remedy cost almost nothing, but delivered results that rivaled anything from the drugstore. Hydroquinone skin lightening creams were marketed heavily to Black women in the 1960s as the solution for uneven skin tones, dark spots, and hyperpigmentation. Department stores and beauty supply shops stocked multiple brands containing this powerful bleaching agent, which worked by destroying melanin-producing cells in the skin. Women applied these creams daily, sometimes multiple times a day, desperate for the lighter complexions that society told them were more beautiful and more professional. Over time, many experienced terrible side effects, including permanent skin discoloration, thinning skin, and increased sensitivity to sunlight. The irony was devastating. Women trying to even their skin tones often ended up with worse discoloration than they started with. Some developed blue-black patches that could never be reversed. The Food and Drug Administration later ruled that over-the-counter hydroquinone products were not generally recognized as safe, effectively banning them from store shelves. Making hot toddies with whiskey, honey, and lemon was Grandma's secret weapon against colds and sore throats in the 1960s. When children came home shivering with fever or complaining of scratchy throats, Grandma would head to the kitchen and pull out her ingredients. She heated water on the stove, added a generous spoonful of honey, squeezed in fresh lemon juice, and then came the whiskey from the bottle kept in the back of the cabinet. Adults got full-strength doses, while children received smaller amounts, but everyone got a toddy when sickness struck. The warm liquid soothed raw throats, and the whiskey made everyone drowsy enough to sleep through the worst of it. Grandma believed the combination fought infection, loosened congestion, and helped the body heal itself. Kids actually look forward to being sick enough to earn a toddy because the honey made it sweet and the warmth felt comforting. For Black families in the 1960s, Grandma's hot toddy was medicine that actually tasted like love. Rubbing Vicks Vapor Rub on the chest, back, and feet was the first line of defense in Black households during the 1960s. That little blue jar sat on nightstands and kitchen counters, ready to tackle any ailment that showed up. Grandmothers would scoop out a generous amount and massage it into a sick child's chest, then cover them with warm blankets. The strong menthol smell filled the entire of the house, announcing that someone was being treated. Kids knew the routine well. Vicks on the chest, Vicks on the back, and Vicks on the soles of the feet, covered with thick socks. Some grandmothers even put a small dab under the nose or added it to boiling water for steam inhalation. The cooling sensation and sharp scent seemed to open up congested airways like magic. For Black families who could not afford frequent doctor visits, that jar of Vicks was worth its weight in gold. It treated colds, coughs, chest congestion, and anything else Grandma decided it could handle. Lye-based hair relaxers containing sodium hydroxide were the most popular method for straightening natural Black hair during the 1960s. Johnson Products introduced Ultra Sheen in 1965, and it quickly became a staple in Black households and beauty salons across America. The chemical worked by breaking down the protein bonds in hair, permanently altering its texture from curly to straight. Women endured burning sensations on their scalps, sometimes leaving with raw, blistered skin that took days to heal. The lye was so caustic that beauticians wore gloves to apply it, yet it sat directly on customers' scalps for extended periods. Children as young as 5 or 6 received their first relaxers, beginning a lifetime relationship with harsh chemicals. The Federal Trade Commission eventually required warning labels on these products, but not before generations of Black women suffered scalp damage, hair loss, and chemical burns that left lasting scars on their heads. Taking castor oil was the most dreaded moment in any Black child's week during the 1960s. Grandmothers kept that thick, clear bottle on the shelf like a threat, and children knew exactly what was coming when she reached for it. The taste was awful, oily and bitter, sliding down the throat in a way that made kids gag and shudder. But she insisted it cleaned out the system, kept the bowels moving, and prevented all kinds of sickness. Some grandmothers mixed it with orange juice to mask the taste, while others believed suffering through it straight was part of the cure. Kids would run and hide when they saw that bottle come out, but there was no escaping Grandma's determination. She would hold noses, coax, and sometimes threaten until every drop was swallowed. The aftermath was predictable and unpleasant, but she swore it kept her family healthy. For Black families in the 1960s, castor oil was proof that the worst-tasting medicine worked the best. Taking castor oil as a cure, all that seemed to fix everything inside was a dreaded but effective ritual for Black children in the 1960s. Grandmothers kept a bottle of this thick, foul-tasting liquid in the kitchen cabinet, ready to dose anyone who complained of stomach troubles or seemed under the weather. The taste was memorably awful, and kids would run and hide when they saw that bottle come out. Some grandmothers mixed it with orange juice to mask the flavor, but nothing truly hid the oily texture that coated your throat. Castor oil was believed to clean out the system, flushing away whatever sickness was lurking inside. It was given for constipation, stomach aches, colds, and even as a spring tonic to prepare the body for warmer weather. Mothers and grandmothers swore by its effectiveness, even as children gagged and protested. For Black families, castor oil represented preventive medicine that kept the body functioning properly. The dread of that taste taught kids to stay healthy just to avoid another dose. Mercury-based skin bleaching creams sat on the shelves of drugstores and beauty counters in Black neighborhoods throughout the 1960s, promising lighter, more even skin tones. Products like Natinola Deluxe contained up to 3% ammoniated mercury, a toxic heavy metal that women applied directly to their faces, necks, and hands every day. The creams worked by suppressing melanin production, and women saw visible results that kept them coming back for more. What they did not know was that mercury was absorbed through their skin and accumulated in their organs. The metal caused kidney damage, neurological problems, and a condition called acronosis that permanently darkened and disfigured the very skin women were trying to lighten. Grandmothers passed these creams down to daughters and granddaughters as beauty secrets, not realizing the harm they were causing. The FDA eventually banned mercury in cosmetics, but for Black women in the 1960s, these creams were everyday essentials. Soaking in Epsom salt baths was Grandma's prescription for everything from sore muscles to drawing out infection in the 1960s. She kept boxes of coarse white crystals under the bathroom sink, ready to pour into steaming water whenever someone complained of aches, pains, or general unwellness. Grandma believed the salts pulled toxins right out through the skin and helped the body release whatever was making it sick. Children with fevers were lowered into lukewarm Epsom baths to bring their temperatures down naturally. Adults with back pain soaked until the water went cold, and then soaked some more. Grandma would add extra salt for sprains, bruises, and any injury that caused swelling. The ritual of the Epsom bath was calming in itself, with Grandma supervising and adding hot water to keep the temperature just right. Kids emerged with pruned fingers and a strange sense of cleanliness that went deeper than washing. For Black families, the Epsom salt bath was healing that cost almost nothing but worked nearly every time. Soaking in Epsom salt baths for aching muscles and to draw out sickness was a weekly ritual in many Black households during the 1960s. Grandmothers kept large boxes of Epsom salts under the bathroom sink, scooping generous amounts into hot bath water whenever someone felt unwell. The belief was that the salts would pull toxins and sickness out through the skin while relaxing tired, sore muscles. After a long day of work, or when a cold was coming on, adults and children alike were sent to soak until the water turned cold. Grandmothers also used Epsom salts to soak tired feet after long days of standing, providing relief that felt miraculous. Some families even gargled a dissolved pinch of Epsom salts for sore throats. For Black families stretching tight budgets, this inexpensive remedy addressed multiple ailments without requiring doctor visits. The magnesium in the salts genuinely helped ease muscle tension and soreness, which is why this remedy has persisted. The Epsom salt bath became a cornerstone of home health care. Lead acetate. Progressive hair dyes were popular among Black women who wanted to gradually cover gray hair without the dramatic change of permanent dyes. These products were applied daily like a hair treatment, slowly darkening gray strands over time with each repeated application. What women did not know was that lead was a dangerous neurotoxin that accumulated in the body with every single use. The lead absorbed through the scalp and entered the bloodstream, potentially causing brain damage, kidney problems, and serious reproductive harm over time. For decades, these products remained completely legal despite growing evidence of lead toxicity in other contexts like paint and gasoline. Women trusted these familiar products, using them for years without ever suspecting the dangers sitting in their bathroom cabinets. The FDA finally banned lead acetate in hair dyes in 2022, more than 60 years after Black women in the 1960s first started using them regularly. Swallowing cod liver oil. Every morning in winter was a daily torture that Black children endured in the 1960s. Grandmothers lined children up before breakfast and gave spoonfuls of the thick, fishy oil that coated the tongue and lingered for hours. The taste was so foul that children gagged, cried, and sometimes ran, but Grandma always caught them. She believed cod liver oil built strong bones, prevented colds, and kept the body healthy through harsh winter months. Some grandmothers gave it in liquid form, while others used gelatin capsules, though the fish taste still managed to seep through. Schools even distributed cod liver oil during that era, confirming what grandmothers knew about its benefits. Children learned to swallow fast and chase it with juice, though nothing truly erased that taste. The daily ritual became a test of wills between determined grandmothers and reluctant children. For Black families in the 1960s, cod liver oil was prevention that tasted like punishment, but kept everyone healthier. Which of these remedies brought back the strongest memories? Drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe to keep these healing traditions alive.